Hey, what up, Nappy Nap? How you doing, buddy?
It was good, man.
Anyway, we're going to go into the recap of the game, and then you can see all the topics along the board. Fantasy trends, lots of them to pick them, stash them. We're going to talk about the Texans head coaching stuff, options, even though they'll probably get a GM before they do coaching, but it's always fun to pretend. And then we're going to talk about whatever we want to. And then we'll also talk on a Week 5 cut list. Is Gronk in my week cut list? That is up today. What up, Nap? Kick us off, baby.
Yeah, man. Say shout out to Matt. Matt's tying the knot today, man. Yeah, man. Let's hop right into it. We had the Super Bowl rematch Thursday night.
That's right. Nick Foles against Tom Brady, but different teams. Now Nick Foles with the Bears, and we got Mr. Tom Brady with the Bucks. And the Bucks start picking up. Actually, I think start seeing that little bit of Tom Brady magic when he did a comeback against the Chargers. He actually lost 19-20, right? Or is it 20-20?
Yeah, 19-20. 19-20. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those classic, 2020 cliches. Well, Tom Brady credited the early struggles, at least at week 1 against the Saints, struggles to, not having an offseason, OTAs, preseason games, blah, blah. But it looks like they're clicking now for sure. Arians is, said it last week, super balanced. Fournette's banged up, but he still got Rojo carrying the rock, so Brady's really leaning on him to open up the passing lanes for him. It was a good game, man. Fantasy wise, I don't know if you got Mike Evans, man. That ankle's hanging on by a thread, man. He's limping between snaps, plays. This is modern day slavery right there. What they making him do? That man should rest. He should have rested this week. I know he caught a 1 touchdown early, but a short week. Should have just gave that man a little bit extra rest. I mean, he's offense. Yeah, there's Tom Brady, but it's Mike Evans that kind of takes the top off.
Yeah, so he scored. He managed to score 15.1 points in the game against Chicago. So actually, not bad. But I understand the fear. But this is not normal from his. Against the Chargers was 27, against Carolina was 25. Then had an outlier. The first game was actually 7. So I don't know why that. But
we'll segue into on the opposite end of the spectrum. Some people getting bold playing Gronkowski, huh? Beans? I mean, talk to me about that, man. Are we cutting this motherfucker now or what? Are you still letting them, cash Social Security checks?
I was really close to cutting Gronk, but then injury to O.J. Howard just kind of bumped him up on the depth chart. And then, I threw him in my flex position against that game, just, on a gut feel, like maybe he'll get a little bit more love this time. And I'm playing Cedar Will, who's undefeated. So he's 4-0. I'm 3-1. So I felt like I've got some, I got a little room to play.
You're looking for some magic, bro.
Yeah. Just looking for because if I'm going to beat, Will, his teams have been on a rampage, man. So if I am going to beat him, I need one player to go off, or I need something from a flex position that's other than like a 10 point. So I thought, was Gronk going to get like 20 points? No, but I just like the idea that he was going to get more touches, and he did manage to pull away 8 points, which is nothing, but it's better than the 2 and 5 that he had been getting. So it didn't really go according to plan, but I'm not. It didn't like fuck me or like kill the week for me. So that's my thought there. Yeah.
Hey, I'd say I still stand firm. I say let's drop his ass. Let's go. But each week that you do keep him and that he does not perform, that's just somebody you could be potentially losing out on discovering or unearthing, right?
Yeah, I think my flex position will probably start to be a little bit more rotated now, just to kind of see if anyone can get warm.
And really, I'm only saying that because you already have a established tight end.
I do. I like the idea of just running 2 tight ends, he's just collecting dust.
I wanted to make that point.
Yeah.
When you do have that second stud tight end, though, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like the lineup is like almost set it and forget it. It's so much easier not having to deal with the hunting for an inconsistent wide receiver 3. You know what I'm saying? Or throwing all your chips in on a RB3/flex. Definitely having that second tight end, low tight end 1 paired with the stud tight end 1 you already have. Yeah, it's hard though. It's hard to get that.
And before we move off on the game, not really a fantasy thing, but I'll be honest, man, it's kind of it's becoming a theme to my character here on Balls Deep. I fell asleep, and I didn't catch the end of the game, and I woke up and Tom Brady thought it was 4th down, or he thought it was 3rd down when it was 4th down. What happened there? Can you tell me?
Yeah, man. Full disclaimer to anybody that's got something personal like this, as far as like family members and things of that nature dealing with Alzheimer's, dementia, all that stuff's real sad. But it's at the end of the day, I read something great like when somebody's having one of those flashbacks to like they think it's 20 years ago and they think they're talking to their now deceased wife or something. It's almost better you just live in the moment with it, man, and try to pick their brain while they're going through that flashback and kind of let them live through what they're doing. And you never know, they pull memories, details out that you didn't learn about, whoever it is, your grandpa, grandma. And what I'm trying to get at is we saw dementia take over live on TV with Tom Brady. This motherfucker forgot that it was fourth down. You telling me a motherfucker with 6 rings, one ring on his pinky, or probably could put one of those rings on his big toe. You can tell me this Hall of Fame guy forgot that it was fourth down? I mean, how is that possible?
I mean,
but that is what happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would say that it's like practice all the time, right? I mean, you do the clock management, but I mean, yeah, you just
look at the guys. Troy Aikman explained. Troy Aikman was like, it typically happens when you have to spike the ball, right? That's how you would lose track because you're making a play, you don't have timeouts, the ball's down inbounds, so you run up, hurry up, and then you spike the ball, to stop the clock. Obviously, you use the down there, and that in the heat of the moment, under the bright lights, looks like even the GOAT can get confused sometimes. But yeah, definitely, he was just holding up the floor like, what's going on?
Yeah,
I need a lifeline. Where's Regis?
I've seen the memes. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's and it's like where were they? Were they like driving down? Were they on the 20? Was it like were they going to punch it in? Was it like that?
Nah, I don't think it was. Nah, they were outside the red zone. It wasn't even close. Khalil Mack was in his face all night.
So Tampa Bay. So it's a headline, but even if they did have it, like, I mean, they'd have to make a hell of a play to get in.
Yeah, it wasn't anything controversial though. The controversial part was Tom Brady like staying out there demanding to get another down. Not demanding, but like the game was clearly over, and they're because Tampa Bay's offense was still out there looking confused. Chicago's D was like, all right, I guess. I mean, what's going on?
Well, Tom Brady wasn't. But, I saw. I saw D posted something in the chat where it was like I don't know if he knew it's fake or whatever, but it's like from Ian Rappaport, and it's just like Tom Brady went into the locker room, like threw his helmet and had a baby fit. But anyway, let's move on, man. Anything else you want to talk about the game before we hit fantasy trends?
Nick Foles is a fraud. He's good and he's clutch, but this isn't a guy you're plugging in your fantasy lineups. Box of chocolates right here, man. You don't know what you're gonna get. One week he's balling. Last week against Indy struggled. This week he came out and held pretty consistently. You look at the two teams right here. Chicago won, but they have no rushing defense or no rushing offense. It's completely non-existent right now. David Montgomery is not a factor.
And Jimmy Graham, he actually in our league pulled in, our PPR league, he pulled in 12.3. Kyle has him, the Stinky Richards. I think he's kind of in a must-win situation this week, and I know he's been kind of trying to ride the Jimmy Graham train. I think aside from his Atlanta game of 24, that's one of his highest games, and so I know he's riding with the Dallas tight end this week. So hopefully that works out for him. But interesting that Jimmy Graham, I wrote him off, but now that Nick Foles in, maybe that helps him kind of produce a little bit more than 2 or 7 points.
I'll if you've got him, I'll ride him another week and see how that Foles to Jimmy Graham connection is. But definitely, I think it's one of the top 2 or 3 priorities for when a backup quarterback or a rookie signal caller is getting thrust into the starting role mid-season, such as this. Having that safety valve right, we talk about that. Having that big red zone target. And Jimmy Graham definitely checks those boxes. So, and I like that they're not using him for, trying to put him in and blocking shit. Like they're actually lining him, splitting him out, put him at receiver, using him as a receiving tight end because that's what he is. No need to hide, blend. I mean, sure, you might be scripting or showing your hand when Jimmy Graham's in or when a blocking tight end's in, whether or not he's releasing or blocking. But I mean, so what, man? Other teams have tried and failed. The Bears are owning it right now. Jimmy Graham is what it is. When he's in, he's running around most of the time. I like it. Let's move on, man.
Let's move on. I mean, I think everyone thought, or at least I thought, he was going to be awesome in Green Bay, and nothing really materialized there. So then it wasn't really on my radar going into this season with the Bears and Mitch Trubisky over there. What do you got first in fantasy trends? What is the trend in fantasy football right now?
Man, this week I want to talk a little bit about some running back committees here that it's looking like how do you explain it? there aren't enough running back ones to go around, so a lot of us are taking risks right now. Which of the one or which back do you take out of a committee? Whether it's the Rams, Baltimore Ravens, even now with the Cleveland Browns. I know Chubb is out, but the next man up. Uh, so I wanted to look at a couple interesting ones, comparing to some guys we called out last week. Cardinals. Um, I mentioned Chase Edmonds slowly catching up to Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake's been underperforming. Steve has Kenyon Drake, ended up picking up Chase Edmonds for $1 just to see what's going down. Right now, the snap rate it's 60. It's 70-30, right? So Kenyon Drake right now is getting all the love, but Chase Edmonds, he was at about 10% of the snap share week 1. Now slowly getting up, slowly getting up. Now it's 3-4 times that amount by week 4. So obviously, opportunities are getting there. I think it's just back-to-back losses. Arizona, they're going to try some other stuff out, maybe script some different guys in. Chase Edmonds got that type of element, or at least that resume from years past. He can step in and surprise the defense since he doesn't have much film on him right now. Um, Another backfield, Atlanta. People were thinking it's just a Todd Gurley show. That's not the case. Brian Hill was a deep sleeper earlier in the season, but that snap share, Gurley's got 50% of it. Anytime you hear 3 names, that usually means you don't have one running back to count on fantasy wise, right? So I guess my tip here is, you either flip Gurley after he gets a double digit point game, flip Gurley for someone a little more consistent. But if you need that running back, you're probably going to want to keep the handcuff, whether it's Brian Hill or the kid out of Southern Miss with a few years experience, Ito Smith. Last one I want to talk about, man. I guess Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo Bills, because this is one people are still flirting with back and forth, this Baltimore backfield. You avoid them all. I'm going to just say that. You avoid them all. You got Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, and then you got Gus Edwards. Mark
Yeah.
Ingram's a coin of the flip. J.K. Dobbins is a sexy rookie name. But outside of that, there's no data for you to lean on to justify
I mean, it's
even rostering this kid right now.
yeah. I mean, I was just gonna say, just looking at it, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? The who's running, who's got the ball in his hand all the time and running with the ball? Lamar
Oh,
Jackson.
Lamar.
He's
Yeah.
either running it or throwing it. I mean, he's kind of the one man show right now.
So it's not even a 3-man backfield. It's technically a 4-man backfield because he's sharing with Lamar too. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Great
And I
point,
mean,
bro.
I'm looking at because I'm just looking at the points here. I'll bring it back up on the screen. No one's even eclipsing like 10 points projected this week. I don't even know if they have. Like, what's Mark Ingram done? Is he the one, right?
Mark Ingram's more like a RB3 flex. He's touchdown dependent, bro. Like
Yeah, I mean,
if he gets those red zone carries, maybe. But
yeah, Mark Ingram's always been a flex to me, for quite a few years now. Anyway, there's not really a premier. They don't really have that going like most teams, like a premier back early to carry the load or to even do much. It's really the Lamar Jackson show.
yeah, and some other guys I'll mention later, and then they're more in the sleeper section, but they kind of tie into this too. Looking playing devil's advocate, we're looking at backfields to avoid. Well, there are some backfields that have this similar setup, 2-3 running back committee, that I'm going to tell you, hey, go ahead and roll the dice on this week. David Johnson for the Texans after week 1, haven't really seen him since. Duke Johnson looks a little more fluid, looks more like he can more comfortable when he's uh, reading the line after the handoff for that zone cutback. Right, it's just a guy that's been in the system a little longer. I think he might get a little more love by default, especially Texans being 0-4. Uh,
What do you
you
think?
know,
Oh, sorry. What
mhm.
I was gonna say. What do you think? Kind of bigger question. What do you think happens in Houston with the offense now that Bill O'Brien's gone? He was being that he was everything. He was also the offensive coordinator. We didn't even touch on that last time.
Yeah,
But
well, Tim Kelly was the OC, I think, this year. But like you said, we all knew Brady was or O'Brien was still calling the plays. Actually, this year in the offseason, I think it was February, O'Brien slipped it in that yeah, Tim Kelly's calling the plays now. Um,
but was he
you
really?
know, yeah, exactly. Now I think there was a quote from Deshaun Watson a few days ago saying basically, well, Tim Kelly's got the full playbook now, so the training wheels are off, so to speak. So that's how Deshaun Watson explained his positivity and his excitement and his anticipation of better things to come.
I mean, yeah.
So
In a way, it might be kind of fun if they're going out there and if the play calling gets simpler, Bill O'Brien again, I think one of his things that he tried to play like he was too smart, like he was the Patriots or he was Bill Belichick. Blah, I'm stuttering a lot today, but anyway, I think maybe it gets simpler and maybe they get more points and on the chance of just they hand off the ball more. That just simpler all around and all players flourish.
Yeah, man. And I don't know where I was going there.
It's
I
okay.
think well, no, I think we'll see what was intended or what was communicated, promised to the fans in the offseason, which was ball distribution, right? No more being dependent on a Hopkins there. Every read, just hey, Hopkins, Hopkins, Hopkins. Looks like that's what we need right now, though, right?
Do
And
you,
watching these games, it's like, man, if only we had a stud
right? Like
receiver
yeah,
to
I was about to
fucking
say.
help move the chains.
I guess that's where I was going. Like, just throw the ball. Like, yeah, just throw the ball downfield to Hopkins. We've seen it all the time. Just throw the ball and hand it off. Throw the ball, hand it off. Anyway,
D
yeah.
has a good comment here about OB, and we'll touch back
But
on
Tom,
this when we go to the Texans. Just Tom Savage is the definition of Bill O'Brien. Exactly, man. O'Brien, I think, has got so much pride. He wants to handpick his next diamond in the rough. Kind of like us, when we want to, like you playing Gronk, or sometimes D playing a stud that he discovered on daily fantasy, but trying to plug him in this week on a fantasy game. You want to be right. You want to say, "Oh, I
yeah, I
called
want to
that
look cool.
motherfucker," or
Yeah,
like like the guys back in the day. You show them some good music, a band. It's like, "Oh yeah, I knew about that band before they were hot." Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I called that shit.
well,
That's so
I'm
Brian.
coming on this goddamn show and be like, I knew a Gronk would hit it one day.
He just gonna wait every week. Eventually, it's gonna hit. But yeah, man, that's O'Brien. I feel that's the same with his offensive coordinator. I think he had a George Gotze, who was his quarterback when he was an assistant at Georgia Tech way back. Tried to bring him up, groom him up as an OC. Had to fire him. Now this Tim Kelly cat comes up. Um, we'll see, man. Last thing on the trend, one running back situation I want to talk about. It might be helping people. The Bills, Devin Singletary, Zach Moss. Everybody was, every year we fall in love with some of these rookies. Uh, Remember, Devin Singletary was just a rookie the year before, so he's in his second year. I don't think you jump off the Singletary boat. This guy is an RB2. This guy might seem touchdown dependent right now, but if you're in PPR, he's definitely gonna get you what you need. Big playability. Yeah, similar to the Ravens, where you've got a quarterback and Josh Allen that's gonna vulture some goal line love. But I would sit tight on Singletary, or
So he is
you
playing
know,
Tennessee, projected 13 points. Do we
yeah,
know
one of
right
them.
now what the status of the Tennessee game is? Will, if you're watching, can you fill us in? Tennessee
I think
game?
it's two. Yeah, I
Is
think
it?
it's
I think they said Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yep, yes, sir. It's like you said, we got a little Tuesday night game now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want
Um,
anyone to get sick or get. I want everyone to stay healthy, but it's kind of enjoyable now. You got like another day of football to kind of get you through the week. You got Monday,
hell
Tuesday,
yeah.
then just Wednesday. Then you get Thursday night game, and Friday. Well, you don't get Friday. You get college, on Saturday, I guess. Anyway, um, season recording center could be. Okay, what do you? Are we done on fantasy trends? Do we want to go into
Yeah,
some
man.
of the
That's all.
pickups?
Yeah, let's go to some pickups here,
Yeah,
man.
if Will comes back with some intel on the games, we will update you promptly. So last
I'll
minute
start with
pickups.
some pickups, some deep sleepers for this week. Some bye week fill-ins. Teddy Bridgewater's first one I want to touch on. I don't know how deep of a sleeper he is right now, but I'm leaning on this one right here. Just the fact matchup. You don't even have to know it's Teddy Bridgewater. I'm playing any quarterback
Yeah, I'm
that's
gonna get some
playing against the
tunes
Atlanta
just so you
Falcons.
can some
Oh yeah,
background tunes to this,
yeah.
just so we can wake ourselves up here.
Oh
All right,
yeah, man.
let's talk about quarterback. Quarterback. You want to talk about Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah, yeah. I'm digging Teddy Bridgewater. I think if you want to pull up who's available, we can just spit two names on there
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the waiver
Let's
wire.
see, available.
Two names on each position I'll pick out based off what we have. But yeah, Teddy Bridgewater's out there.
That's Buffalo. Hold on.
Running back, I mentioned the Duke Johnson. Really, the trends that I'm looking for here, sleeper wise. First thing, I'm looking at bad teams, bad NFL
Is
teams.
Teddy Bridgewater? I think someone's got him. He's not available.
I got him. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you
I
picked
got
him
him.
up. Okay.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do here,
Let me just
more
look
times than not, people are going to ignore players on a bad team. So try to find a team that's doing bad that might be trying to change their philosophy mid-season, might try to change what they've been doing, or at least mix up the trends that defensive teams are picking up during film study. The Chargers here. A lot of people were high on Joshua Kelly. this is a backfield I would say to avoid, but since Eckler's out, let's see what they're going to do. The fact that Anthony Lynn's a former running back himself, the LA Chargers head coach, you can tell what he's trying to build his team around. Just have some solid athletes to kind of take the load off a young rookie in Justin Herbert. So I think the running backs here, although it is a committee, it's not one to necessarily avoid. You got a quarterback that's going to dump it off. You got Keenan Allen, but outside of Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, there's still targets out there to be had. We mentioned Duke Johnson. Don't really want to get into individual specifics, but like I said, these are teams that they're struggling right now, and you think they're going to try and flip the script, figure out another way to do it. By that, they've got to see really what they have on their roster. We mentioned Jacksonville Jaguars, Laviska. He's not a sleeper anymore. He shouldn't be. He should be rostered everywhere. Wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, kind of like their utility player, a young Percy Harvin, a young Cordero Patterson. I'll say I landed on yeah.
Speaking of quarterback in last minute pick'ems, so this guy is rostered in 55.7% of ESPN leagues. So he's available in half the leagues out there. A1 Gardner Minshew, the second. How you feeling about Gardner Minshew these days? We were kind of low on him before. We've had some rebuttal from the interwebs, and you know we've admitted that maybe we were too harsh. It's really one outlier game. Playing the Texans this week. What are you feeling? Would you start him?
Yeah, I'm feeling. By the way, I definitely would start him.
By the way, Stinky Richards did pick him back up. So the Stinky Richards, you convinced the Stinky Richards it was not a good deal. He dropped him, picked him up, dropped him I think again, and now picked him up again. So the internet has won Minshew over with Kyle, and it's just being a Houston fan, he's going against a newly fired head coach team, and they're all fired up and stuff. I don't know what to expect. I'd say he's going to do well just because the Texans are 0-4. I think he's projected for his average points is 25.6, so it's not bad. That's pretty much Deshaun's only getting me like 27. It's not like Deshaun's going out there for 30 or 40. So anyway, just want to throw that out there.
Minshew is if you just look at his schedule, it's pretty good for a fantasy quarterback. Like you said, Houston, Detroit, and then he's got a bye week, and then he comes back, he's playing Chargers, and then Houston again. So Houston within 5 weeks. So he's gonna throw up those points. He almost broke 30 points against Indy in week 1, and then another 30 in another division game, Tennessee. So yeah, I can see why everyone was riding Minshew. I guess my lack was my lack of awareness was more in the schedule, and after a little more look, this guy is a promising. QB2, man. I know the stats say he's right outside QB 10, 11 range, but
if you haven't used your pick, if you used all your picks like on wide receiver and running back, like maybe Kyle did, and you're just very low, and we're a 12-man league, I think it's not a bad play. Like I said, we kind of went to town on him on week 3 when he scored 9 points. That was in your hot take, which is actually featured in the trailer there. I do see a question in the chat for you though. You got so you need to start 2 out of OBJ, Juju, and Robert Woods, and C. Ridley, full PPR. Who are you going with?
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give 2 options. The first option, you go off of last week, right? OBJ had a monster game. Because OBJ had a monster game, God, it's so shitty, but that alone is like...
Don't say regression to the mean.
Yeah, no, I'm not, but that alone is like scares me. Just because, what did we learn last week? Was it Odell exploiting a Dallas secondary, or was it that Baker Mayfield is actually clicking? You know what I mean? How about this? I would take OJ, and I'm taking Robert Woods. OJ, Robert Woods. That's how I'm going to rank it. After that, Calvin Ridley, Juju. Only reason I'm having Calvin Ridley up there is if Julio's hurt. Steelers are really, really good right now, man. Juju Smith, you kind of need him for a game that's going to go back and forth. And if we let's actually pull up some of these players, see who they're going with.
Yeah, sure.
But that's how I would rank it right now. Simply off past performance, you can't bench OJ after he had a three touchdown week last week.
You brought up an interesting point. Like I think when you see a player have a monster game, I don't know. I think you can think about this both ways. Some people might think like, oh, he's got the hot hand, I'll play him. but you seem to be more in the. There's no way he's going to have 2 back-to-back monster games. Is that kind of
But
what?
that doesn't also mean he's not going to score one, right? Yeah, that's always my initial thought. But I mean, even 30 seconds into it, I've already flipped the script and say you just can't, you can't bench OJ after a 3 touchdown game. As long as you go in knowing, hey, shit, he might get a touchdown here. He might get a. Let me just look him up, see who he's playing. So he's playing Indy. Indy's got a pretty decent defense. Matchup wise, they like to roll the zone coverage, but they're not necessarily sticking like their top corner, their top playmaker on Odell. I think this is going to come out Kareem Hunt getting a lot of dump offs from Mayfield, and it's going to open it up for Odell to either take it in like a reverse last week or to catch 1 or 2 bombs behind that Indy defense. What I'm worried about is Indy's offense. Are they able to play score for score, hang with Cleveland to where Cleveland doesn't end up just reverting back to their running scheme once they're ahead by 10 points? You know, because Frank Wright, as aggressive as he was, OC for the Eagles, head coach, he got burned last year. You know, on a couple 4th downs. One was against the Texans. I think he's kind of dialed back that aggression so far, especially because he knows he's got Phillip Rivers, who's already aggressive himself with the gunslinger mentality. The coach is trying to put that on the reins right now. The other guy, I know it sounds like I was low on, but I'm not. Juju Smith. The only reason I've got him after Odell and Robert Woods, I really like Robert Woods, what he's doing this year. It's like the offense is flowing through him. For some reason, Jared Goff just kind of, you know, he liked vanilla ice cream last year in Cooper Cup, and this year he's going with chocolate chip cookie dough, and he's chilling with Robert Woods. And
Is Cooper Cup hurt?
No. It's just that Cooper Cup, I think, had a monster season last year, so
he was huge.
His ADP this year was pretty high.
Yeah, man, it was monster. I think I might have had him. I think on his rookie year. But anyway,
yeah, and D makes a good point. Calvin Ridley, I had him just above Juju, but if I would put them both right there. It's a coin toss between those two. But Juju's playing Philadelphia, so that's an offense you want to exploit. But
I think most of these guys right now in ESPN PPR, they're ranked around 14. I think I forgot who. Maybe I know OBJ and Juju are projected around the same points, like around 14. That's at least what the computer is telling us. I think out of the many of the other two, I think Ridley was projected the highest. But anyway, so you're going with Ridley and Woods. Is that what you said?
no, I'd go with Odell and Woods.
So you're going with Odell, giving Odell a shot. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. It's a badass question. I'll tell you, to close it out on some of these last minute pickups. You look at we talked about Olamide Zaccheaus last week for the Falcons. I think Jordan Wilkins for the Colts is the next running back in line behind Jonathan Taylor, the rookie. You know, if we're just waiting, this kid's just one snap away from getting hurt before Wilkins is coming in. The reason I say Wilkins is a deep sleeper, and obviously no one's thinking about him. That's what these names are right here. Just trying to think where an injury might happen. Just do it for this week. I'm not saying you keep Wilkins in your bench for multiple weeks. Just this week, just see what happens. Some guys I say we need to bail on, man. Need to bail on now. But do you have a cut list up here on the?
What's that?
No, you don't, right? Do you have it? No.
Players to cut.
Sweet. Yeah, I was just gonna give real quick some guys we need to quit on, man. I think you need to quit on AJ Green, man.
Is that an option in our? Yeah, I mean, we actually have that towards the end. Do you want to jump ahead to cut list?
No. Actually, no. We're good. You can skip stash them too, because we pretty much just stash them.
All right.
Unless we got anything else on the chat here.
No, I think we're good now. Let's continue.
Good.
If something comes into the chat, we'll definitely take the questions as they fly.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the head coach of the Houston Texans. I mean, I think a lot of people are saying the Texans need to hire GM just because they want to go the traditional model of let's hire GM and GM hire that coach. But it feels like if you listen to the main media outlets, everyone's saying something as to ownership has an idea of who they might want. So let's play that game. Let's see, who would they want? Nat, who do you think? There's some hot names out there.
Yeah, I would say, bro, I think you want to flip every time. Yeah. You want to, since the Texans went with an offensive hire this time around, Bill O'Brien, Think about it. Before Bill O'Brien, Gary Kubiak, another offensive hire.
Before
Before
that,
Gary Kubiak,
Dom
Dom
Capers,
Capers,
defense.
defensive background. Um, Now we got the interim head coach, Rack, Romeo Cornell. Jolly motherfucker, Black Santa Claus. Defensive minded. I would love to go defensive minded this time around, but we can't. We got our money tied in to a left tackle. We got our money tied in to a Deshaun Watson. Let's go get the hot name right now is Eric Bieniemy, OC, KC, Chiefs.
I like that one.
It's hard to know though how much of it is him, how much of it is Andy Reid, how much of it is Patrick Mahomes. There's just too many hands in that kitchen. You don't know how many different people collaborating on that recipe.
Wasn't he a running back coach for the Vikings with AP in his heyday? If I remember, he was a running back actually in the NFL.
And he was running back. Yeah.
And I don't know about how his football mind is, but anything I've seen of him, like just in TV and stuff, he seems like
the way their offense runs, man. They're like the Texans when the Texans are running motion sweeps, all that movement to distract and make linebackers hesitate an extra second. I'm sure the Texans got that from the Chiefs because the Chiefs is on a whole nother level as far as attention to detail. You look at Green Bay too; they're running a lot of these motion sweeps and stuff, pre-snap action moves. A run and play from a pass play up until the ball snapped, you almost can't even tell that they're identical from play action to pass. So. I just don't know, man. Maybe that's disrespectful, me disrespecting Bieniemy, but I would almost take this guy, a less flashier name, over him. Greg Roman is the OC over at the Ravens. We saw what he did with Lamar, not necessarily wanting to copy and paste Lamar's scheme with Deshaun because they're two different type, players, both dual threat. But Lamar's a downhill guy. Deshaun's more of the string it on, hold on to the ball, don't get sacked. Okay, deep play. But lately we've just been seeing sacks. But Greg Roman had a lot of success with old Colin Kaepernick back in the day. A name that I see is Josh McDaniels. But if you remember, this motherfucker signed on the dotted line for the Colts and then pulled out.
It's not going to happen.
So, I don't know why people are bringing him in.
So we've touched on it a little bit. I don't think, honestly, I'm not going to probably put it on YouTube because the pregame stream that we usually do on Tuesday nights, came out so bad, the bitrate was really bad, and I'll probably put it on Anchor. Anyway, we did talk about the whole firing in the name of Jack Easterby, this supposed name that's been in the Texans organization. He's still there. Does he get fired too? And it's still like the New England thing, and nobody really knows who this guy is or what he does. It's just a name, like this advisor that's highly sought of, and that's in the front office with the Texans, who a lot of people believe kind of was on Bill O'Brien's side when he first came in, but then turned on him and was the voice in Cal McNair's ear to say, we need to get rid of Bill O'Brien. Do you buy any of that hype? Or not to go on a whole tangent or a fork in the road here, but going back to New England, I don't think it happens, I guess, is because it seems like we're going to wash our hands of the whole New England thing experiment.
Yeah, man. I think Jack Easterby's a dirty motherfucker, politician-ass bitch. That's basically, I don't know if you saw that movie from old Korean director, Boon Jak, whatever, that Parasite, right? Parasite. I think that's what Jack Easterby was, man. I think he's a parasite coming from, honestly, to put my D hat on, conspiracy theories, Easterby came from New England, right? Player, personnel development. Now he was executive player or executive vice president of development here. Now he's executive vice president of football operations. Yeah, interim GM, and then he's probably going to help in the hire next year. Why I say parasite? I think he was good. It was all love with New England up until Robert Kraft got caught in the massage parlors in Florida. And I think since Jack Easterby, a man of character, very, very heavily relying on motivational quotes. Apparently, the stories, you can talk to this guy for 20 minutes and he'll have you fucking all in yourself, confidence-wise, that you'll run through a brick wall for yourself. You'll go take out a $20,000 loan for a failed business plan. He's just got that way of motivating you. I think this man is just trying to get power to the top of a football franchise.
I mean, again, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but it's like I'll research it on my own time. But like, what his background is? Was he a former player, former coach? Like,
no, none of that shit. No,
like,
no.
How do you climb up into like such powerful ranks with like no real football experience of that kind of? I guess to be like a player personnel kind of person, you should
how you get that role, right?
How do you evaluate players if you've never like really been in the X and O's of stuff? You can.
I like what he. I like what he's represented so far. I think it's more of a little tapping into the psychological side of a player. You know what I mean? I like that. I think Russ was the first one to come out and say shit like that. Like, hey, I got a sports psychologist, a guy that kind of just remind them when to take heavy breaths, return,
So D
return
wants
from the high.
June Jones.
Yeah, June Jones, he wants that XFL coach to come in.
Oh,
I'd compare,
I was like, who's June
June Jones
Jones?
was June Jones brought SMU back to prominence. I think he coached at Hawaii for a little bit.
Is that
He's one of
the
those classic Texas air raid offense guys. But he most recently was in the XFL. Led them
what
5-0.
what coach? The Houston coach?
Yeah, yeah, rough,
Okay.
yeah. Houston,
Uh,
yeah.
by the way, that's another thing. I'm actually excited. XFL lives again. They'll give us something to do during the off season. So,
Hey, yeah,
do,
yeah,
do the
yeah.
do the players and everyone stay the same? Does it just bringing all the players and personnel back, or are they just like
I don't know
okay?
what they're gonna do. They might have to have a redraft, or I'm not really sure, man.
I've been following
But
them.
it's gonna be awesome. I know The Rock's gonna do it right because he himself was trying to be one of those developmental
Yeah,
players coming out
that's
of college.
so
So
exciting. I hope they can sustain it. I mean, he's got the money to for a little bit.
let's go to some cut list guys, man. Let's go to some guys that you quit talking to this bitch, man. She ain't gonna text you back. She ain't gonna come. She ain't gonna send you a titty pic. Like, it's time to let her go and move on to the next one, man. This might be a little skewed because I'm thinking cut lists out of a 12-man team. So obviously, if you've got a 10-man team and you hear this name and he's rostered, you definitely need to drop this motherfucker quick. We'll just run through. I mean, it's just names. There's no real analysis. It's just me saying, hey, if Gio Bernard, I was kind of wrong on him, especially with Joe Mixon blowing up. I don't think Gio Bernard's outside of a handcuff option. You don't need this guy. Jeff Wilson, San Francisco. Everybody kind of got hard on him 2 weeks ago, balled out. As you can see, Tevin Coleman's back. I'm sorry. As you can see, Jarrett McKinnon returning to that form, showing why Kyle Shanahan picked this dude up 2-3 years ago. Uh, Receiver wise, Brandon Cooks, man. As much as I wanted it to work out, I think it's time you cut bait with Brandon Cooks. AJ Green, I wouldn't even know if you put him on the trade block what you would get in return for an AJ Green right now. Looks like T. Higgins is taking over that secondary role behind Tyler Boyd. Uh, Joey B, man. Old Tiger King from LSU, now with the Bengals. He's the real deal. He's showing it. It's just a shame there's no chemistry right now with him and AJ Green, who's goddamn been a number one, been consistent for Andy Dalton all these years. I don't know, man. Christian Kirk, Arizona, time to let him
Wait.
go.
So I'm sorry. Did you say cut AJ Green?
Yeah, yeah. This is cut list right here. These
Just
names that
cutting
I'm
AJ
saying,
Green. Big name,
yeah,
brand name.
I don't even know what you could get out of a.
Who's got
He's
AJ Green?
now moved over. He is now moved over to the former brand name
Is
has
it
been list for
is
me.
it the rookie quarterback that's doing it to him, or is it just his decline in play? What's going on?
I guess so, man. I was thinking last year he missed a lot of last year, and it looks like it was a real lingering injury. I thought it was just him saying, "Hey, the Bengals suck. Why come back this year and get hurt? They're tanking anyway. Let me just sit on IR and wait." Or at least that's what the consensus was. It's turning out that injury's kind of rolling over to this year. It's not a fact, but production wise, if Tyler Boyd could continue it, if T. Higgins, a rookie, is getting the love,
Yeah.
then what is it? I mean, it's not a lack of targets, is it? I mean,
Even the projection for Cincinnati, Tyler Boyd is ranked to the top over AJ Green, not by a lot, but it's kind of telling even when the computer wants to say that this guy's going to win. I
what
think
I like is we're in week 5, so now it's now we're not necessarily just freestyling and spitballing. We're taking these trends, these stats, and
historical
I
data.
guess seeing if we're seeing if
I
which way they're
think
going.
I think the next episode it'll probably be an elevated episode with stats and graphics. I think it'd be nice to have some that's presented beforehand, so we're not just looking at ESPN screens and stuff.
All
So
right, we can do that.
that's to come. That's the next thing in our pipeline. But for now, this is what the best we got. But that's interesting.
Outside of
AJ
that,
Green, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, man. That was probably the craziest name. Other than that, New York Giants. If his name's not Darius Slayton, you don't want to own him. So, I mean, Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate. Some people are putting on sleeper lists. Just Golden Tate's so reliable for so many years. PPR. This is the year. Time to leave that motherfucker alone. And last but not least, Green Bay. I think the race is. We know who's coming out of that wide receiver 2 spot. It's no longer Marquise Valdez-Scantling. I think Alan Lazard, he's going to get it once he comes back from injury. MVS is just
Oh, they're all on bye.
given the
That's why.
Yeah. They're on by here.
Okay, so it's not giving me a
I'll
good
go real quick. I
projection.
mean, there's not much else to say. Tight end wise is a tough one. If you've got Austin Hooper, Logan Thomas, they're not on the cut list. I'm only mentioning them because I almost had him on it last week, but Austin Hooper came through.
I just picked him
Logan
up.
Thomas,
I just
yeah,
I'm just doing a
yeah.
rotation.
I'm mentioning their names basically because Austin Hooper and Logan Thomas, the opportunities are still there, man. Tight end wise, I mean,
I think a lot of people got
Eric,
excited about the. Sorry, I think a lot of people got excited about the Browns game last week. I think we had a OBJ question before, but like me, Austin Hooper, just just like hey, maybe got some love, but maybe it's a hard game to go by just because it was kind of like a back and forth fireworks show that doesn't really happen all the time. So the stats and the targets are all kind of blown out of hell, right?
yes,
So
sir. That's it. No, that's it, man. That's all I have, bro. That's really it. Quarterbacks, I don't need to touch on quarterbacks, man. That's an easy one. I'm gonna let you figure it out. And if you can't, send in the question, man. Kirk Cousins, I say that. Keep Minshew, but fuck Kirk Cousins.
so we're wrong about Cousins. Has he done much? Maybe I'll pull him up and see. Does anyone in chat have a question for Nap or myself or something you want to talk about in your day?
Looks like D's agreeing with me on that AJ Green. It's just not the same player that we've been used to. Officially move him over to the old brand name list.
Okay. I'm going to play a little music in the background. We'll probably end the show here. I think we had a good little run. Unless, again, we get a question back, we'll chop it up a little bit. Is there anything you've seen in our, like you said, going to week 5, we're kind of almost at the halfway point. How many weeks do we actually have in fantasy?
Most regular seasons end week 11, 12, playoffs 13, 14, 15, 16. This year, we're ending our season week 10. So we're doing 2-week playoff rounds. So actually, round one,
That's actually what I want to talk about. Talk about a freestyle. Maybe who's in a must win? Whose season's like in peril of being over? Now, the cool thing about our league, we have side pots, we have all that stuff. So if you are in the bottom dungeon, Randy, still compete for that.
Got a chance to win some dough.
Get some money, but get your dues back, man. Don't just give in.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna go to our standings real quick.
Can you pull up one roster for me? Yeah, I want to look at it. This is cool. Every show to at least dissect one of our guys' teams here. I want to look at the 2-2 boys here, or actually, I want to look at I think we talked about Ivy, we talked about K-Who.
So an interesting one to me. I've mentioned it a couple times. The Stinky Richards is playing the Flash Gordons. Flash Gordon's 2-2 at 500. You got the Stinky Richards at 1-3. Is Kyle, the Stinky Richards owner, if he loses this game, what happens?
Yeah, let's look at that matchup. Okay. If he loses it, I mean,
is he still? Does he like? I don't know.
He still has a chance. He's got to win out. But this is that pivotal season. I would have actually done it now. You blow up your roster now, man. You're trading your first and your second rounder to go get a little depth if you need to.
So
look here.
ESPN does have him projected to win one. It's going to be a close one, 130, 121. Again, Bernal could survive, but they're both in the same division too. That's another important thing here.
And we only got 7 spots. This one is this is a chance for him to go 2-3, and then to catch up and tie the Flash Gordons, Bernal.
Exactly,
I think him from 2-2 to 2-3. So this is a pivotal turn right here.
It would change.
But I will say if he does not win this week, if Stinky Richards don't win this week, he's got to move something. Melvin Gordon is looks like he's coming along now, but do you trust Gordon? I think Gordon has another big game. You trade him because Phillip Lindsay is coming back, so those carries are going to get eaten too. You trade him. It's that receiving core for K-Who. Like we talked about last week, we're just waiting for them boys to pop off. Julio's been a little hurt. Michael Thomas has been out of commission. B-Mac side though, B-Mac, he's got a chance to go 3-2 here. He scooped up Scotty Miller, who's now the next favorite white boy of Tom Brady's. We mentioned how Jonathan Taylor, can he sustain as a rookie? They're feeding him. I'm gonna take B-Mac in this one simply because I like some of the ceilings he's got here. I like the Eric Ebron ceiling. I like Alvin Kamara. That's an easy one. I like Justin Herbert, man. But one I don't like out of there, Latavius Murray. Had a good week last week, but it's not he had a good week last week, and that was last week. This is that whole "what have you done for me lately?" And Latavius gonna let you down if you keep him in that flex. Book it, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I think either way, if Bernal wins on the other flip side, and if I lose, because I'm playing a very hot team in the Cedar Will, as I told you, I kind of threw the dice with the Gronk there. So I know I could very well lose, and if I lose and Bernal wins, then we are both 3-2 tied. So interesting.
Let's look at one more matchup, huh? Let's look at one more matchup. Let's look at the old dude that's getting married this week. Let's see who's playing, because he's 1-3 right now. He's sad. Luckily, he got a wedding tomorrow, so he won't get too depressed.
Oh man, it's a brother showdown
tomorrow.
I didn't know the brother showdown.
Yeah, the Ivy Bowl, huh?
Ivy Bowl.
Yeah, so this is Stevie 0-4 trying to get out the basement, Captain America. And this is the little brother trying to either get some payback and do a little, RIP or come out. Steve's he was supposed to be off to a good start already, but Tom Brady only had a 1-touchdown game. It was a field goal game that Thursday night. What I'm liking though is Miles Sanders. Looks like he's back from some injury. Kenyon Drake. I think this is the week. If Kenyon Drake ain't working out this week, I mean, you got to trade him, man. You got to trade him. Ride with Chase Edmonds. Just take the risk. I know it hurts to trade your second, third round pick, but I mean, he ain't been shelling out for you now. Of course, you say this now and then Drake pops off afterwards. But what's keeping Stevie from hanging himself? Go back to his roster. I had the name. Tyler Lockett. I'm sorry, Tyler Lockett. There we go. My bad. Tyler Lockett's the one. What's holding Stevie down? Mark Ingram. I think we cut Mark Ingram, or you trade him. See if you can find a sucker that's buying into the Ingram, because it's too dependent, man. As far as on Matt's side, Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson. He's not starting Ingram. Yeah. These are just two teams that I mentioned it last week with Randy's team. They look good on paper. They just haven't scored consistently together in the same week, right? Matt's got some key guys over there, but it's.
So what do you like?
Kyler Murray?
Like, when you have a lot of players that have a lot of potential and they just haven't popped off yet, i.e. Gronk, I'll just use that name because that's the person I got. It could completely be a dud. Maybe that's a bad example, but big names that should be doing and they're not. Do you sit on them and wait for that moment to pop, or you just start dealing just to try to get something going? I feel like you're more the guy who's going to start trading all of a sudden just to kind of get some momentum. You're just gonna go after whoever is popping off. You're not gonna wait for your guys to pop off.
Yeah, I ain't gonna let that bitch fucking burn me 2 weeks in a row. Fool me once, shame on me. Twice, no, it ain't gonna happen, man.
It's kind of like that.
So I do jump the gun a lot. I mean, I do tend to nut quicker than most.
But you have won the championship, and me as someone who usually sits on the players has not. So maybe that's something to talk about there.
I would oversimplify it like this: 2 ways. One, you can't. Like you say, diversify your portfolio. Designate that one guy that you want to hold on to, that one person that you fucking love and you're going to go to bat for. Gronk's my man. He's going to get it. He's going to get it next week. He's going to get it. Following week, he's going to get it. Don't do that for all your players, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do.
It's easier said than done.
The second string.
But, I mean, if Gronk's your guy there, if Gronk's the one you want to maintain your focus on, then realize that you're only going to be able to hold 3 running backs, 3 receivers.
For the record, I have Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is my tight end. Again, this is the kind of wishful, this would be nice if it worked out. This would be like, oh, I'm a genius kind of thing.
Hey, yeah. But with all the running back committees here on the waiver wire that you want to avoid, it's not a bad idea. It might be easier for you if you think you've got a little more insight on the tight end.
I think it's always been easier to go tight end in our league just because it's a 12-man league and everyone's played 10-plus years. So there's never you can trick anyone. Running backs I don't even consider picking up the idea that you can get a running back that's going to be awesome for you, like in free agency in our league is it's very rare that happens.
I got one though, James Robinson, Jacksonville. But you're right, yeah.
Injuries,
exactly, and that was the point I was going to make. Designating who that sexy flex is going to be for you, and then go ahead and hold on to him. But the rule is, man, I think after 2 weeks, man, you got to let that bitch go, man. Let that be someone else's problem to chase, man.
It's true. All right, I like it. Well, I appreciate the tips. Lord knows I need them because I'm still trying. Even though I'm 3-2, I'm going for a Balls Deep championship that I have come close. I have tasted it. I've smelt it. I maybe have licked it a little bit, but I never won it. Actually, the guy I'm getting married today, Matt Ivy, won it. So anyway, and they don't remember the losers. They only remember the winners, the people who have
they
the
don't
name
remember
stenciled
second
on the
place.
side of the goddamn trophy.
Yeah. We'll close it on with what D mentioned here. Since the Giants are playing the Cowboys, I agree with them. I think this is going to be a high scoring affair. Is it going to be Devontae Freeman's return of the Mac party? Is he coming back strong? Is he going to make Nappy Nap eat crow? I do not think so. This man's going to tear his MCL at the end of the second handoff he gets. So not even 3 minutes into the game, he's going to take a cut left, go look right, and then bam, he's just going to snap his fucking MCL, fall to the ground, and then everybody's going to say, damn, I should have listened to balls deep football and not played this motherfucker.
We'll remember that. All right, I think this is going to do it for today's episode. Remember, no episode tomorrow. This is our game day episode, so we're on that push to the 50 followers on Twitch because we got to be able to unlock stupid shit like replays so we can replay this on a game day Sunday. So please like and subscribe, follow, do all that stupid shit. Secondly, next weekend, I think we'll figure it out too, but I know I'm going to be a little busy. We're trying to finish up the studio to get our, nice backgrounds and stuff like that going. So anyway, I'll let you know. And we'll definitely do it Tuesday, I think, right?
Yeah,
Monday Night Football.
Sure. Yes, sir. Always. I think Tuesday is a great day to try to get some waiver wire tips in before people put those claims in.
Who is the Monday game? And we have a Tuesday night game, actually. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Tuesday was Bills and Titans, right?
Tuesday's going to be Bills and Titans. And Monday, what's Monday?
It's Chargers Saints.
Will.
Chargers Saints.
Will's like the NFL encyclopedia. Will's going to be back
Chargers
on the show.
Saints.
I'm excited for Will to be on the show again. I'm excited for everyone to be on the show again.
Yeah, man. Good. And you know what? Shout out to Deer Park, Texas, right? Appreciate that question, man. That's what's up. And make sure you come back next week when you find out that I gave you the wrong advice. Come back and cap on our ass. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't hold us accountable. I'm just gonna keep spitting bullshit every week.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Real quick, we'll close on that. Yeah, the Monday nighter. Ooh, Denver, New England. I apologize. Denver, New England.
Do we expect Cam to be back by then? I think they said
it's
he's
actually
showing
a doubleheader. I'm sorry. Damn, it's a doubleheader, bro. Not to cut you off. Sorry.
On Monday?
Yeah, it's a doubleheader.
So we have a doubleheader on Monday and then another game on Tuesday because I'm all the COVID?
God bless. Yeah, we got
kind of cool.
The primetime games, Denver, and that's a 4:00 game, bro. So make sure you get your little
on
doctor
Monday?
slip note.
That's cool.
Yeah, make sure you get that doctor.
Everyone's working from home though, except for you.
Oh shit, we off Monday. Yeah, you and I we took off. Is that Wednesday, Sunday?
Oh, that's true.
So.
That's nice. That's good, man. Might have to do. Okay. Shoot, man, this is turning into be a great week for football here. I was gonna say one more thing.
That's it, baby.
I'm having a brain fart. All right, well we'll just end it there. Got stuff to do. I know my dad's senses are tingling because of the Titans. That's right. All right, y'all. Well, holla at your boys. We're gonna cut it off here. You Will, do you want to do some streaming later, man? Some Call of Duty? I'd love to watch that. Someone. I'm gonna go mow my lawn and do other stuff.
Yeah, you better mow your lawn.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Get that honey to-do list done.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say Cam's hasn't showed symptoms, but he is still under protocol and stuff. But
yeah, that 14-day protocol or some shit. I don't know.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right, bro. See you tomorrow.
Peace.
Coming back to Texas, swinging in my Lexus. Yeah, I'm coming through. Got the Sprint, the Nexus. My hair is long, haven't cut it in months. Yeah, I'm good, about to smoke that skunk. Put my hair in a bun. I'm having too much fun. I'm a man on the run, and you're holding the gun. We got not made. Look who I become. Dr. C's in the shade. I'm a son of a gun.